All right, so the next one is Good Clean Fun, and this is amazing. This is a popular product that was used on millions of Android phones, ES Explorer, because you don't have, by default, a way to explore the file system and copy files on the phone, and ES Explorer did that. But it turned out, unbelievably, that this program has a ridiculous security flaw, and it was there, I think, for years before anybody noticed, which is a story you should get used to hearing a lot of times. Now, it turns out, for most fun, I made an emulator that actually connects to the real webcam on my machine here. And you do that by editing your phone. When I first created it, I made these choices, but I can show you where I did it. I just go to Advanced Settings, and here you can specify your camera. And I can set both the front and back cameras to go to the real webcam instead of none or emulated. And when I did that the first time, about an hour ago here, when I started it, it killed my Mac dead. The whole Mac restarted. And all I had to do was update the emulator. So let me point out how to do that. This may or may not work on your system. It worked on my Mac after I updated the emulator. And to do that, I had to go to Tools, SDK Manager, and then SDK Tools, and the emulator is here, Android emulator. And if it'll tell you if there's an update available, and there was. I was at 31, and I updated to 36. And when I Googled, they said sometime around 32, they fixed something that did cause kernel panics. And apparently that was it. So before it was updated, they switched this, and then you just have to check the box if you want to update something, and then click OK. It'll download and update it. And after the update, it works. So now that I've done that, I can start this phone, which is connected to my real webcam. And I don't know what it's going to do when I'm using the webcam for OBS, probably something horrible. But anyway, once you've got your phone up, then you install this old version of the software, which you can download on somewhere, a link on this page. Yeah, you download it here. You have to, of course, they fixed it after this came out, so we're getting the old version. Then you just drag it onto the phone and launch the app, and you have to approve the storage and a few other things to get the app going. So here it is, ES File Explorer. And make sure it's running. And when it's running, you can see the vulnerability pretty easily. If I do ADB shell here to get onto the phone, then I can look at the network connections. And let me go here and find the command, which is there, netstat minus pant. Let's see what that does. I think it's going to give me too much data. This is listening processes using TCP, all of them, and don't try to convert names to alphabetical descriptions. Yeah, and I get too many of them, so I'm going to send the errors to devnull. Don't bother reporting errors to me. And then I'm going to null. And then I'm going to grep listen. You know, I think on other versions of Linux, I can just put an L here to see only listening processes. Nope, that didn't. Well, it's better. As a matter of fact, it's good enough. There. So the thing I wanted to show you is this. Something is listening on port 59777, which is really screwy. A high-numbered port like that listening, that is ES Studio. It just turns on an FTP server and serves all your files to anybody around you without telling you anything. And there's no password on it. And it was that way for years. And I remember there was a big security breach called the Fappening, where they got nude photos of Hollywood celebrities, and nobody knew how they got them. And I wondered if this was how. I think the most popular analysis is they figured they probably fished and got in their iCloud. But they could have got them here. Every Android phone was just sharing all your photos and everything to everybody around you all the time. And nobody noticed. And it's this blatant. There's just an extra listening process. So you can just connect to it with curl, and you can download information. This is going to get device information. It's serving it's got various API calls you can make there. So this will just connect. Oh, now the first problem is I have to connect to on that port. And so what you have to do is you have to forward that port. I forgot that step, and I don't know how. There we are. This is how you do it. You do it with ADB forward. This is an ADB command. It will take port TCP 5977 on the Android phone and copy it, mirror it to 5977 on my local machine. this is handy. Otherwise, I'd have to have the IP address of the Android phone. Now I don't have to, because it'll listen locally. Now, inaccessible, or not found, because I'm on the phone. I have to get off the phone. Now I can do it on the Mac. There, now it's forwarding 5977 locally. So if I do on the Mac, netstat minus pantel, an pipe grep listen. There we go. Now my local machine should also be listening on that port, and there it is. My local machine is listening on that port and forwarding it to the Android. So now that makes it easier to execute this command. All I have to do is go to 127.0.0.1.59777 to get to the Android. Otherwise, I'd have to type in the IP address of my Android phone at the end of it. This ADB trick means I don't have to do that. So that will send a curl here asking it for get device info, and here it is giving me information about my phone. And what's even more fun is you can steal photos off the phone, and that's why I like to connect it to the real camera. Now this may kill my machine. We may lose the stream. I'm going to try it and see. But I put the camera here, and let's see if it'll, it's working, and it's not dying. Okay, so there's the camera. More or less, yeah, working more or less. All right, I'll just take one of these, snap a picture. Okay, what's that? Yep, got something. All right, and now that I've taken a picture, I'll steal it off the phone. And we have, you can get a list of the pictures as shown here. This gives you a list of the pictures on the phone. List pics, kind of obvious command. So I go here, and there you are. I have two pictures, one I took earlier and one I took now, and you can see the time. And then I think you can pull it down. You actually get wget here, replacing the image path, and right. So I need to take this image, I need to wget that image path, which is, for the one I just took, it's here, storage, emulated pictures. I'm going to copy that, and it's wget http://127.001:59777, I think. Yeah, then just slash, then this storage emulated stuff. If I haven't fouled it up, that'll pull that image down.
There are 2 slashes after.
Yeah, 2 slashes are okay, and there it is. It did pull it down, so now I should be able to view that. Let's see what directory I'm in. I'm in that home. There's probably some way to launch a viewer from the command line on a Mac, but I don't know it. Instead, I'm just going to go here. Here's my desktop, and here's the folder above my desktop, and there's the image. So if I double-click that, there it is. Okay, so that's it. You can steal pictures off anybody's phone, back when they were running this vulnerable app. So anyway, that's good, clean fun. And I was glad to be able to do that. Before I could only do that when I was running Genymotion, but now I can do it with the updated emulator. And I don't know if it's going to work on Windows. Usually this kind of stuff doesn't work very well on Windows, but it did work on my Mac. So this is extra credit, of course, because your hardware may not allow you to do it. Yeah?
Does it play nicer on Linux?
Does it work on Linux, you say? It probably would, but I haven't tried. I imagine, though, if it works on the Mac, it's likely to work on Linux. But all these projects require a lot of troubleshooting. And remember, that's the real lesson, is learning the troubleshooting. That's what you really have to do on the job. Nothing ever works right. You never have the right version. And you always have to find a way to make it work anyway. And this class, more than any of my classes, has a lot of troubleshooting because these emulators are flaky and they keep breaking and they depend on the operating system and so on. So try not to get too frustrated if you get stuck in the project, because it happens all the time. It happens to me too. Yeah, command search spacebar takes you to index search. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop this recording.